Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel if you haven't already been here. I'm going to be working on making this collage today, and I thought I would kind of talk you through my process of how I go about doing that. But first of all, thank you so much for subscribing. My subscriptions are totally free, and I plan on posting, these kind of videos once or twice a week. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm going to do today. So I have a pre-made background page. And I'll kind of bring this up a little closer so you can see. It's very textured. It's got lots of layers. And I'll tell you a story about this background collage. There was a collage underneath here. And you may even be able to see like remnants of it. And after I got done with it, I just didn't like how it looked. So I kind of ripped up the paper. And then I just kind of painted over. So we have this nice textured thing. And I also like that the border's already on here. And you can even see some of the circles through the paint. So it kind of gives it kind of like an embossed look. So I also like that as well. So I'm going to be using this pre-made background page and collaging on top of it. Okay, so we're going to set this right back down. Now, if you've watched my composition videos, you know that I like to start with paper. I pull out papers that are similar, in that they either are similar in color, similar in patterns, similar in theme, content. So I found this picture of this lady and I really liked it. And then I pulled out this guy. And again, don't know if I'm going to use it or not. But basically, once I pulled them out, I realized, okay, I probably need to go with some kind of monochromatic with maybe 1 or 2 extra colors added. So this is what I pulled. When I say pulled the papers, I'll talk to you about that while I throw these out here. I have a bucket of papers. Like, here's an example of something. This is just a piece of wet strength tissue paper that I made, and I didn't use this part, so I'm going to throw that on there. And the reason I like it is because it kind of fits well in there. I also like my drywall tape that I have. Then I made a whole batch of these. This is some collage fodder that I made with yellows and pinks. And this method that I'm doing here is an excellent way to use up that collage fodder. And so, now you can see them kind of going with pinks. Then I found this. I actually had cut this out for another collage, and I ended up not using it. And it's got really nice, nice lines on both sides. So I could really use either side here. And then here's another little piece of this. This is another new thing to my collage fodder, collage paper. I like this because it's vintage, and then it has some of those colors in there. And then I just started pulling some more. Here's like a little yellow piece. Here's another piece. And so, like I said, I just here's some more collage fodder that I've made in the past, and I just kind of keep that in there. But, the thing about collage fodder is I hear this all the time from people, is that they make their collage fodder, they make their papers, and then what do you do with them? Well, my approach to doing collages works really well with using your collage fodder, because it is a really good way to pick out the pieces that will fit your collage. Okay, and then I also liked this saying. It says, "You were so," and the actually over here was like energetic or something. But I just kind of tore that out. And I've had that for a while too, but I think maybe it might work in this one. Here's some more pictures. This one I like because you can just see these lines right here, and has a little bit of an archway, and then it has this diagonal right here. So if I need to define my composition more, I can use this to help aid the viewer in making sure my composition fits. Sometimes you have to remind your viewer. Sometimes you have to say, hey, here's what I'm doing. And, if you look back on some of my collages, you'll see that sometimes I actually just draw the lines on. There's a few that I did where I wanted people to look on the diagonal, so I actually did this, and sometimes I even do arrows, like, follow around. And it's kind of like an unconscious way. I think people probably don't even realize they're doing it. It's just kind of like when you see an ad on TV you kind of unconsciously think to yourself, I'm going to buy that. Okay, so let me pause for just a minute and show you my bucket of stuff. And this is basically what I draw from. And it contains full collage papers that I have made, and I've done both sides of these. And who knows, I might use it someday. And then it has all my different collage fodder papers in it. One day I just sat and I was making dinner, and while it was cooking, I just, you know, punched holes in this. And this actually lent itself really easily because I just folded it and then went around the side. And then I also have, you know, just different stuff in here. I have different textures. I've got like a cardboard thing in here. Oh, here's a stencil. Oh, look, there's some pens. I meant to give these. My foster daughter loves miraculous ladybugs, so that's where those went. I bought those for her, and I'm like, where'd they go? Well, obviously they're in my bucket. And then I have, you know, just papers, tissue papers. Here's some more of this. And actually, now that I look at this one might go well with the other. So I actually have lots of buckets like this. Like this is one, and then here's another one that I have over here. Here's another one. And this one actually has bigger pieces. This one has some wet transfer, or wet strength paper. I always call it that in here. And I keep those in there for, you know, if I want to add color. And then, of course, I always have to have my black circles. I'm going to pull this out, too. And then I just got this really cool paper. I found this at, I was at Blick Art Store, like a month ago. And you know, they have that really nice paper section. So I grabbed this because it's white on white, but also it's kind of a little textured surface. And I thought paint would go over that nicely too. So I'll pull that one out too. So this is what I do. I just kind of go through my paper buckets and I look at the various collage fodders that I've made. And, you know, some of them are ugly, like this one's ugly. But, for example, I could cut out a circle like right here and still get some good images. Here's another one. Here's another one. So basically, you just kind of go through and pull out what you think is going to work for that collage. And of course, you may not use it all. In fact, I'm not going to use it all. So whatever I don't use is going to go back in the bucket. Okay. So this is how I start. Now, the other thing I want to tell you that I did before I started this video, if you looked at my collage I just made today, there is a face that's in the middle of the collage. Let me see if I have it over here. And it's actually a moon. So when I cut out her face, this is the face I used. I cut it out and I used that for the moon. So then this was just kind of sitting like right there. And I looked at it. I was like, that is kind of cool because it's just, you know, just the rest of the face that's not cut out. So I looked at that, and then I saw this because I just love this piece. And then I thought, what if I put those two together like this or something? I don't know, I'm still working on how it's going to look together, but you might already be able to tell that the face fits in there really nicely with that. And then here's the other side, like, so I could use this side too if I wanted to. This would give me more of an open mouth look, which I could put something underneath that, like that, and throw in some texture. Or even this page that I just pulled out, you know, would look good underneath there. So, actually, I think I like this side better. So, this is the other thing that I do. I might find one piece and make a whole collage around that piece. And, you know, I kind of fish around and look for, like, what might go with that. Okay, so here's another one. Like, I could use this, too. I think this looks interesting because you can pick up that black over here and the windows kind of look like eyes. So I could do something like that. And I had something else over here too that I liked. I can't find it now. Maybe it was something like this. Because even if you come in, so on this one, you're going to want to pick up on that diagonal. So you're going to want to put the ear right there because that's the natural continuation of the face. So that is following that right along. And then obviously you would put something back here. So again, you could put just collage fodder back there. You could put, you know, something like this, but you still would get the side of the face. Okay, so this is my main thing I'm working with today. So the rest of the stuff is just going to be additional add-ons to complement this to make the focal point work. Okay, so I usually take the thing I'm going to work with and I put that right there. And the rest of these I will just throw off because I'll just kind of pick them up as I need them. And my medium of choice today, I use a combination. I use glue sticks and matte medium together. So here's my matte medium. Sometimes I use this. I also really like Artist Loft gel matte medium. Artist Loft is similar to Golden. It's cheaper, so it really doesn't really matter, just so long as you have, you know, some kind of nice adhesive that is acid-free, because over time, your pages will age, and you want them to age nicely, you know, but not yellow. So if you don't use acid-free stuff, your pages will get kind of all yellow. All right, the other thing I'm going to use today, I have different tools that I use. This came from Dollar Tree, and if you follow me enough, you know that Dollar Tree is one of my mainstays. So I like this because I can scrape things on with that. I also have a spatula over here that I can use. It has this on here too. And by the way, you might notice, Kim, why don't you clean your stuff? I tend not to clean my things because I actually like the spontaneity of having maybe a little dab of yellow come on or something. Something might pop off. And I think, and maybe spontaneous is not the right word. Maybe it's like serendipitous. I don't know. But I kind of like that. So I tend not to clean my brushes. Now I will kind of like, see how this has paper. I will kind of take those off. And these silicone things are really nice to clean because look, you can also do this. So just kind of peel that off. All right. So these are probably going to be my tools I'm going to use today. And you saw my medium I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and get going. All right, I'm going to start with my backgrounds first. So I want to lay down some more color. So I did like this piece quite a bit. I could put that here or I could put that here. I think I'm going to put it up here, and I could even underlay something right there. So I get out my stuff here and I just go. So I'm going to talk to you while I do this because you don't need to watch. I mean, you guys know how to glue a piece of paper onto another piece of paper. You don't need me to explain that to you. But I will say this, that I put it on there and then I scrape it off because, and then I'll use this again somewhere else. Because when you want to get like a generous amount, I mean, not so much that you flooded the whole paper, but enough that it will stick. And I've had situations before where I think I put enough product on, enough adhesive, and then the whole thing just, clams up on me, and it doesn't work. So with the extra that's on my scraper thing here, which I think this is called a palette knife, I will just go over the top of it. So this is what I tend to do. I tend to go under the piece, put it on, and then I'll go back on top and add matte medium. And I'm just going to scrape all this off, all the excess off, and I'll just kind of put it down here. This is how I clean my house. I kind of just scrape everything and put it in a corner. That's my idea of cleaning. I don't actually put it away. Okay, so there's that, and I want to get another piece. I like to do corners, and I like to stabilize my corners first. So this corner, now I'm going to go down here and do this corner, and I'm going to want to pick up something that is similar in color, but that also has some dimension. This would work. I think this is nice because you've automatically got these lines going here, so it automatically will draw the focus of the viewer up there. I did have another piece of this somewhere in my little stash. And by the way, and this is why I limit my papers that I use, because if I don't limit the papers, then my collage would go all over the place. I could be going in this direction, then that direction. So like I said, I limit the papers that I'm going to work with so that I am not so discombobulated. And that might also be one of the reasons I work fast, is because I've already got everything right here. Okay, so here's another piece of this. It came from that. I'm going to put it down here because there's a couple of things I look for when I'm doing a composition. I look for pieces that are similar, but maybe not the same shape or whatever, and they need to fit together for the composition. So in this case, both diagonals have this color, and they both have these lines. So I like that quite a bit. And if you notice, these diagonals are pretty much done for me already because they're both black. So I've got both of my edges done. Okay, so then the next thing I do is I will start with my main focus image that I want to use. I know I want to use this, and I'm going to go back to this because I know I want to use this. So now what I'll do is I'll just kind of play around with this, and I'll say, oh, that looks good here. And, you know, I just kind of move it around on my canvas or paper or whatever. And I do two things. I place it around, but I also figure out how I want my face to sit on there. So let's see. I kind of like this because I don't know if you can see this, but this kind of looks like a continuation of her mouth, and these kind of look like eyes, and I like the diagonal nature of this. Now, I don't know where I'm going to put this exactly on my collage, but I know that this is the shape that I want, I know that I want this composition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and, you know, is this your final answer? Yes. I always think of that game show. Is this your final answer? So, and I'm not going to glue all of it down. I'm going to glue this portion right here because I know for sure that I want that to go in this direction. All right. So now I've pieced that together because I know that this is going to be my main thing. Now I leave the rest of it open. Why? Because I'm going to probably put things underneath. I'm going to put things in. I'm probably going to put some things around. But because I don't want to, you know, lose these two together, I glue them together. Okay, so now that you have both of them together, the next thing I do is I start to, you know, within my diagonal backgrounds, I kind of push this around and figure out where it might go best. And I kind of keep to the rule of threes. You know how you kind of you have an imaginary line, you know, 1, 2, 3, and you kind of cut your thing into thirds. So I want to keep it, you know, somewhere in the thirds, like either here or center or over here. And then I also want to make sure that it's either going to be down here or it's going to be up here. So because this is going to be my central thing. So I actually, because this is here, I kind of actually like it right here. And that's because it's going to pick up some of that pink from behind it. And I can also, just right here, I know that I can easily, you know, maneuver around it. Okay, so now that I know I'm going to set that right there, sometimes I will tack it into place just so I know. I'm not going to do it on this one, but because I kind of know what's going to happen to it. Okay, so then now this is where I draw from my other papers. So I pull my other papers out and I just kind of start laying them around. And I think, okay, will that look good? Now this one I'm going to say no to. I don't know if you can tell. You know, question, why did Kim say no to this? Well, if you look at the light and dark compared to here, this dark gray does not match this gray. The tones are different. It's just everything about it is different. It just does not match at all. But I like this piece, so I'm going to save it. And I'm going to stick that over there in my stash of papers. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I also have this guy, which I really liked this guy. Now, my thought was on him is that, you know, we could put him underneath here like that, or kind of move him over. And I still might do that, but I would want to cover up his eyes because you know me and eyes. I hate eyes. So it would be something like that. Now, I'm not sold on this, and I don't know if I'm going to keep using it, but I do like it there, and it does fit my composition. So far we're doing pretty good. Okay, now this is another piece of collage fodder. I actually spray painted on this one, and I really like this. And the thing that's nice about it too is it's a little corner square piece. It's just like those puzzles, how you always look for the corner pieces. The corner pieces are basically your cornerstone of your collage because you want to use these corner pieces to help level things out. So for example, if I were going to use this, I would want to use it right here underneath her so that you know, the viewer can see that you just completed a picture. So take a look at this. This is like picture within picture. So right here by herself and him, this is a collage. You can see that, and then you can see the collage out here on this side. So this is called picture in picture. However, I don't think I'm going to do that today because I think it's gives it too much weight. But I do like it up here with this dude because, again, we're still keeping the same lines. we've still got that connection. So I'm just going to kind of flip this around. And I do like it with this guy. So let's see. I think I'm going to go back to where I was before. All right, so I'm going to use that to possibly cover him up. All right. The other thing I like about this is that a little bit is coming below that line. A little bit's going up. We have a little bit over. It's a little offset. I kind of like that too. Okay. The other thing that I love this, if you are from Missouri, or especially St. Louis, you might remember Sticks, Bear, and Fuller. This was a very popular place to buy clothing back in the 70s and 80s. I don't even know if it's still open or not, but we used to order from Sticks, Bear, and Fuller quite a bit. It was more like a luxury item for my family because the stuff was expensive. But my mother, if I was needing a new dress or something, we would usually go to Sticks, Bear, and Fuller because she knew that she would find something. Okay, now, if you notice here, I'm already liking this because can you see how things are coming through that window, things are coming through here, and then on the bottom, these colors are kind of hitting here. And I also like the logo. So this is another option that I might use. I actually might kind of push this over here a bit. I like the idea. I like the St. Louis, Missouri a little bit more than I like the Sticks, Bear, and Fuller. So, you know, I might put this here. So I actually like this quite a bit, like right here. So this would be another option. Now, here's the thing. If I use that, I really can't use him too. Can you see the difference here? Look how full, and you kind of have to, with your eyes, you have to kind of really search around. Whereas if I take him out, it's much more evident what my composition is going to be. All right, so the question is, do I like this guy in there more or that? And I think I'm going to leave that in there. Now, I still might use him, just put him aside. Okay, so now we've got that going. I feel like I need to have something in this area. So let's see, I got this piece here. This would be good because it does, the hues match the tones. And I could also, you know, let people see my lines are coming through, but I'm not sure it's great. I have these. So this part of the collage is just kind of where I go around and I kind of test each paper. It's like I give it an interview. It's like I'm interviewing them and saying, okay, are you a good fit? And I do really like this. It's a little too big though. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna fold this in half. And let's see, I like this side better. No, wait a minute, I like this side better. Okay. This is actually an old railroad, I guess like a ticket or something. And I just collaged, I just jelly plated it. I used a jelly plate to get that color on there. So let's see how this is gonna look. And I like it because I don't know if you can read this, but it says the undersigned hereby, blah, blah, blah. So it's got kind of a text on it as well. And let's see, if I did use this, I would want to put it like right about there. So I kind of like this because this is, again, you're fitting your composition well, but you're not overpowering the main image because you're kind of going in with a little pink and you're kind of picking up the pinks here and there. Okay. All right, so I got this. I also really like this because you can see how it just basically totally matches that. Now, again, another corner piece. Now this one, let me tell you why I love this one. It's a corner piece, but also it has this swipe of black right here. And I love that. And anytime I can get a swipe of black, I like it. And this reminds me of hair. So I'm gonna try this right up here and see if it's gonna detract too much or take away too much. I kind of like that right there. It's kind of suggesting hair to me, you know, kind of like a thing. Okay. The other reason I like that up there, possibly, is because the swipe here, you're going to get a continuation of her face. So it's also emphasizing the oval shape of her face. And this is called movement in your collage. And you are suggesting, you know, a direction for the eye to go. It's giving movement, and it's also giving a little bit more energy to such a static creation. So I do like that there. So I'm going to leave that there. And again, notice that I'm staying in the 1/3 section mostly. So already it looks like that's the direction I'm going, so I'm going to stay right there in the 1/3. And then over here, I'm just going to kind of barely put things because I do like to have some negative or neutral space. And this is considered neutral even though it's got color on it, but because there's not really any kind of design. Okay, so again, I love this piece. I still want to use it, but I just don't think it's going to work for this one. So this is going to be one of those, I'm so sad to see you go, but I'll use that for something else. Oh, okay, and then remember we had this piece, and I'll tell you what I like, but I like this black right here. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get some of that black going. All right. This was made on a dictionary page, or no, actually it's an index. I got a book of index things, and so one of the things that I also love about printing on actual papers is that you get this natural. You get lines going this way, you get lines going that way. You get a nice word up here that says title index, and you can see that underneath here. But I'm going to take this off right here. So then I really like using book pages. Also, you get the texture of the paper is just so much better than photocopy paper. All right. Now this is a big ask right here. Look at how big this is. I could do this. Let me see here. I'm going to slide it underneath all this stuff. I hope you can see this. Maybe push this up a little bit more. Because if I use this, I would want it to go under here like this. Okay, now, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Let me take this out, because if I use this, I probably would not also want to use this, because we're getting too much, it's getting too full, too much for the eye to look at. Okay, I really do like this. However, it's covering up a lot of my background. I like to have holes, as you know, I like to have circles, things for people to look through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. I'm going to get my trusty hole punch here. I have different sizes of these, by the way. I have small ones, big ones, medium ones, you name it. And I don't exactly know what the right answer on this is, but I'm just going to kind of go right there. And this is, sometimes you have to kind of peel that off. Okay, so let's try this now. Okay, I can see that I'm going to need some space up here. So this is how I get the spaces up there. So I will fold that because I want to get something right here. Flip this over, and I could do this a number of different ways, as you can see. But I'm just going to do a small portion right there. Okay. This paper cutter is old, and it's not the sharpest on some of those edges. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. I also like this piece. I think that's a nice piece. But let's see if I've created enough holes to make it look like I want it to. Okay. I think I would move that 5 up there so it would be coming through. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. I'm going to take this off. And I don't really like this part here, so I'm going to tear that off. Because you're probably taking a look at it right now. So why does this work for me? Because look at my diagonals right here. So this totally fits right on the diagonal line of my piece, and the circles and the holes match up here to these. I don't know if you can see this outline of this circle here, and so it kind of directs the eye going this way as well. And then the addition of the repetition in the numbers, it cuts right through. And if you look at this, this is just about halfway. I think it might be halfway. And if you look here, halfway. So this number 5 is a really nice indication. It's right there in the center, very pleasing to the viewer. And so that's why I would use this. I like this. Okay. All right, let's go with some other things. This is an old, it says burn only in porcelain sockets. This had a light bulb in it, and I pulled that out. And I like this. What I'm thinking of here is, because you know how I've talked about the circle or oval shape here. What I'm trying to do now is see if I want to continue with that line. See if I want to continue with that. And actually, I don't think I do. So I'm gonna put this back. So now it's just a matter of going through the rest of my papers and just kind of double checking to see if there's anything else I want to put in here. Remember I had that lady. I liked her, but I don't think she's going to fit, but I'm definitely going to save her for another collage. And remember I had these two things. So this is where you can add texture if you want. So like this paper, even though I don't really need it, but look at what nice texture that gives. I could even kind of put that here, but I think I'm going to put it up here. So what I'm going to do with this, I don't need all of this stuff over here. I just like the flower arrangement. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that in because I know I want that for sure. All right. And actually, I think I might use glue stick for this because this is handmade paper and it has a different kind of texture to it than obviously regular paper. So I'm going to use, if I can find my glue stick, I'm going to use a glue stick. Oh, here it is. Okay. And again, I try to use a glue stick that is acid free. And I love Blick. I was just in St. Louis recently and I went to the Blick store and got a bunch of these. So you probably aren't going to see this because it's off camera, but I'm going to apply some glue stick to this. All right. Now I could use matte medium. It would work, but I just think glue stick is better. And my motto for doing art is work smart, not hard. So just, use whatever is at your disposal, whatever's better, only you can answer that question. Okay. So here it is. I'm trying to remember how I liked it. Also, this is just super sticky glue, which I really like that it's super sticky. Okay. I'm going to put it. Okay. Now again, knowing that I'm in the thirds area here, and can you see, you can see this very light circle. So I'm going to make a continuation of that with this, and then let me go ahead and flatten that out. Okay, so this is going to kind of pick up that. So essentially, I still have my negative space up here, but I filled it with something visually appealing. This has got texture. You might not be able to tell, but it does have texture. So that's a really nice thing to put up there. Okay, now, personally, I like this collage. I kind of like it just like this. And as you know, I am typically more of a maximalist, which means that I like to just shove everything on the canvas or the paper. But in this case, I kind of like the bare minimum look of it. Because even if I try to put other things around it, it just kind of makes it look cluttered. And I also like to put circles. So right now I'm just kind of trying it out and seeing if I think any of the circles would work. And I'm not really sure. Okay, so, oh, one more thing. Yeah, You Were So. I was going to put that on here too. And if I had to put that on, I would probably put it on right here. I'd probably put it on right there. It's keeping with the composition. It's keeping with the lines. It's still keeping with my focal point being right here. And so I think that fits right there. All right. I'm not going to glue this down yet because I'm still going to kind of mess around with this. This is, I would say, 95% done. The only other thing I would do to this, and I probably will, I'll probably add some more white paint on top, because if I have white paint on the bottom, I like to also put it on top so that it doesn't look like I just threw these pieces on here. Because right now that's all I did. I just threw those pieces on there. So in order to kind of marry them together, kind of make them look better, I will bring some different paint colors on top. So I might do that. The other thing, I will probably go around with some more of this pink color and maybe add, for example, like right here, you see how it's covering up my pink underneath here? I do like this. So what I would probably do is try to find another piece of this pink paper and put that on top. Or if I can't find something like that, I could even go in with my own paint and paint on top. And that's here's my other little tip that I want to show you. When I used this pink, I used this pink paint. So, just remember what paint you used on your collage fodder sheets. And so then if you need to add to your collage more when you're done, then you can always reach for the same color paint, and that's important too. Okay, so I think this is it for now. I hope that, you know, what you came away with are some composition tips, but also ways to use your collage fodder that you have. And I know that a lot of people have a lot of collage fodder, so I think that's a really good idea. This is a really good way and a good way to use that. Okay, all right, I will see you in the next video. Oh, and please subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe. Okay, bye.